Warming up. I realize this is reading glasses. Everything's blurry from afar.
See?
What?
Your bifocals have purpose.
Is it because I'm bad?
I thought you were going to bring that up. That's just funny. I don't know. I'm just like, of course, it ends with this, right?
Mm-mm.
That is such a status update for him. Sorry, yeah, not shady at all. Just making a casual observation of a friend's social media post.
But yes, we are warming up for the episode.
Tagging to
We're sharing links. Getting the signal out. Hey, Andre. Andre has joined us.
I'm tweeting.
Is this the first time you've tackled traveling or places in general?
That's a good point. I think it is true.
Point. Yes.
Ano ang LSS nga daw? Sister song.
I am on the verge of a burp.
Blarp.
Yeah.
Blarp, blarp, blarp. Borp, borp, borp.
So yeah, we shall be doing our first travel episode, so to speak.
Given that we still cannot travel. Wah, wah, wah.
We shall do our first, what I call, travel episode.
Is that so? Is this what I call a vlog? Oh my god. Obar doesn't count as travel. Obar is family. I don't know.
Obar is coming home.
Although, to be fair, I mean, like, you haven't actually been to Singapore in a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
like, compared to me,
Yeah,
obviously.
because I have been to the States recently, and you have.
There was that in Hong Kong.
That
I've
was
never been to Hong
That
Kong.
was our.
Those are trade-offs.
Oh, so come to think of it, then we did talk about travel to gay bars.
Oh, in other countries.
Because we did kind of talk about that. So officially, it's not our first foray into talking about places outside the Philippines.
Yeah, we were just being shady about their drag performances.
or were accessible ours
Providing our constructive criticism.
because someone has a capacity of affecting businesses.
Hey, the power is very local.
For
That's
now.
why I don't do reviews on Zomato anymore.
You should do more reviews, like to books, to
I used to write more, and then it's just
make a review about the upcoming Walpus 5. Never mind. So,
that sounds shady.
hey, Mitch.
Swiper.
Oh my
never
God.
swipe it.
Want the free book?
And it's the Atlas Obscura. As a
I'm actually
featured
curious
cover.
to check out that book.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. But yeah, I guess we might as well start. Well, in 1 minute. It's 9:14.
Yeah, for all two of you. Mitch on Facebook, Andre on YouTube, but that's okay.
Well, I think again, until we really schedule and pre-announce episodes, it's harder for people to just jump in the moment we go on live.
Yeah, that's true. It's just hard to plan, guys. Although we have to map out, like the thing you previously kind of mapped out roughly, we run out. But then, like, I've highlighted all the topics that we didn't actually use yet. So there's actually a lot.
You can also fill that up, and it's really more so that we both, have easy options to look at and not.
We really should have like a content meeting and like let's think about it. And I don't just want to fill it up without you. Siyempre, I want like your input.
But it's 9:15 and this is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again.
My glasses are dirty.
Mine are too. It is 141 episodes in, and this is our first official episode about
Another country, but not about their gay bars. It's about the country as a whole. I don't know. This topic was suggested by Carlo, who is not watching the stream yet, but thank you for suggesting the topic. He was very verbose about it. He said Singapore! Exclamation point. And that was it. Yeah, we haven't really talked about like how to but okay, to be fair, one thing led to another, and Singapore was the first country that we traveled to together after we got together. And the main virtue of that, the main reason for that was because my sister is based in Singapore, and it was sort of two birds with one stone that we get to travel, and then I get to visit my sister.
Yeah.
So that's what started the habit, so to speak. You have more context because then I feel like a lot of people compare Singapore to like Hong Kong, and I've never been to Hong Kong. So what is your compare and contrast sort of for that?
Hong Kong would be Divisoria, while Singapore is closer to Makati. They're both places that were the big place to go to if you wanted to shop for stuff. But in terms of feel, because Hong Kong admittedly still feels like the Philippines. It's a bit more crowded. There's a lot more Filipinos around. In as much as, yes, it's not predominantly Filipino. But, it's very rare in Hong Kong that you turn and not hear someone speaking in Filipino.
But, at least for the touristy parts of Singapore, that feels the same way. I mean, Orchard Road, you still hear a lot of people talking in Tagalog when you're walking down Orchard. But most of the country, no.
But, Hong Kong kasi has that, it's crowded. There's laundry hanging between buildings.
There's airplanes overhead.
There's the rumbling of the airplanes, which feels very Paranaque sometimes. But then it tends to be dark. It's not really well lit the way Singapore is. To be more precise, even Singapore might be closer to BGC than Makati now.
Well, that's obviously why we're here.
But I was looking at in terms of if I were making a comparison before, and if I needed a larger scale,
Okay. Our first few trips to Singapore, we definitely had like tourist checklists. Like we wanted to do stuff that were only in Singapore, and then guided by my sister, of course, that we would go on different little touristy things, or we would try to map out on our own. If you go to, oh my God, what's the tourist website? I can't remember it anymore. The Singapore tourist website was super helpful before for mapping out trips. Let me just pull it up really quick. Really? It wasn't called Visit Singapore, was it? Oh my God. I guess it's Visit Singapore now. I remember it was like Your Singapore or Go Singapore. But I guess they changed. But before, remember, there used to be like an itinerary planner. And then we could see what events were happening the weeks that we were planning a trip, and then we'd sort of map it out.
But even there, we were literally trying to see if there would be something that would interest us.
That is true.
It wasn't like the normal touristy thing we're in. These are the spots you should visit as a tourist, and we'll do it.
We would hey, there's this exhibition at the Art Science Museum that sounds interesting, and let's go for that. And then we'd build an itinerary around, or we would go because we're gonna watch a musical at Marina Bay Sands, and then we might as well check out the Art Science Museum because there's a traveling exhibit.
And that's the sort of thing. We'd go to Marina Bay Sands to watch the musical, but we totally ignored the fact we're in Marina Bay Sands. Because as far as we're concerned, we want to get to the theater.
And
But
but at most we would spend time at the Art Science Museum before the
exactly.
play because
But more
we're making the
but
most of our
others
time.
would be like, oh my god, Marina Bay Sands, and they want to go to the roof deck, they want to see the
Yeah.
infinity pool
We've
and all this
never
and that.
done that. We've never actually gone up to the roof deck of Marina Bay
And
Sands.
in many ways, that was sort of what I was going through when I was with my family and we went to Las Vegas.
Mm.
Everyone was like, the Bellagio and all this and that, and I'm like,
ah.
they're just casinos.
Yeah.
Why are we jumping from casino to casino and not going in? But that's the thing. I guess the touristy thing is not really something we normally do.
I think so, and I think that defines sort of like the way we started to plan out trips, and I think that's what part of the reason why Singapore is always like I guess significant for us is that it became very familiar and easy to plan out trips, and then it sort of built habits also of like the things that we would almost always do. Like I will always want to go to Books Kinokuniya, and we would always check out what we would end up calling the geek store because that's what my sister would call it, which originally was called Paradigm Infinitum, and now it's called Games at PI, which I guess is a more convenient title. And that's where we got a lot of our early board games that were not easily available here. This was before Gaming Live, at least before Gaming Live got big, or before they had a retail presence.
Yes.
That they were strictly an online store with the option to pick up games at Hans's house.
Yes. At that time, there were a few other active game places locally. But
this was
even
still
then,
even before the board game cafe.
you'd have to
time.
order. Yeah, you'd have to
Yeah.
order from them, and hopefully they'll be able to find it for you.
Or essentially, you were like filling a balikbayan box
Yes.
together, and then just sort of clustering orders. So that there was that thing. So yeah, so I think that sort of defined like the way we would travel, and then we would have a semi itinerary, like I mean, like so it would form around like, okay, we're gonna watch the play. So therefore, on the day we watch the play, let's also go to the Art Science Museum because it's in the same area. Or things like I want to see Chinatown on Sunday for the Transformers, swap meet. And while we're there,
Chinatown being
we'll go to the
Green
Tintin.
Hills area.
We'll go to
of
the Tintin
Singapore.
shop, right? That was also in Chinatown. Or I like those days would be like, hey, we're going to go to the museum and see. We normally would time it for certain exhibits. Like we went to the National. Remember the one where we saw like the terracotta warriors?
Yes,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
cool. That was scary and cool, and I kind of wish we got locked in and they come alive and we freak out. That's sort of cool.
I wish this was the first time Toby mentioned this, but it is not. He mentioned this when we were there.
So
Wouldn't it be cool if we get locked in with the terracotta statues?
I think we can go through the list of supposed the touristy spots.
Sounds shady when you say supposed. It's like quotes.
And then we can give our thoughts on the ones that we have and have not visited.
And if you chime in for stuff, let us know. Oh, Mitch, of course, has a very Mitch typed statement, which is must eat in Singapore. I can read Mitch.
Okay,
must eat Singapore, the one food dish you always eat in Singapore.
Okay, so that's the thing though. We do love eating at Singapore.
That's true. Hawker centers are love.
Yes.
We used to have like my sister would make a game out of it. Like, was that she would have her coin container at the house, and then we could go down to the hawker center when she was still living in HBD at the time, and then we would buy lunch but try to spend all her coins, and it was possible that the coins had sufficient purchasing power. It took a lot of getting used to because they can speak very fast. And then I know we're all speaking the same language, but it doesn't quite work out that way. Even just getting used to takeaway being a statement and not takeout. It's such a little thing.
Yeah.
But then when they blurt it out very quickly, takeaway? And then it has an extra charge if you're going to do takeaway.
And bring your own napkins.
Bring your own tissue, yes. All these things. Okay.
So, first on the list, of course, is Marina Bay Sands. We've been there. We've been in the mall.
We've definitely we mainly would go to Marina Bay Sands to see the Art Science Museum and to go to the Marina Bay Sands Theater because of the traveling musicals.
I don't think we've ever gone to the Sky Park Observatory.
We have never gone to the Sky Park, the Infinity Pool, none of that banana shit.
We've walked the Double Helix Bridge.
Yes, on like one of the
we
first
decided
trips.
to try walking,
But to be fair, it's also because we took the train.
and we came from the other side, and that was kind of fun.
Because
Remember?
we got down at the Esplanade,
Yes.
the Durian building,
Yes.
and then we crossed the river.
Yes, and that was nice.
So
That
like,
was nice.
very touristy, very touristy.
Okay. But I don't think we ever passed by Gardens by the Bay, or if we did, we never stopped.
I've gone gardens by the bay with my family on a separate trip, and although I didn't, I got to see one of the paid locations towards the end, but then mainly we went to the tree because it was late, and then it's interesting. Let's go see these giant fake trees, and then there's a light show. The trees lit up and proudly sponsored by OCBC. So it's a thing. So
and supposedly it has a cloud forest dome.
yeah.
And there's the tallest indoor waterfall.
Oh, I didn't see the waterfall. So I mean, like, would I go back? I mean, sure. It's like something to do. Most of it is free if you don't go for the domes. The domes are paid, and there you can take a route. It's that extra stop on the red line from Marina Bay.
Next on the list is the Botanic Gardens.
We did this. We walked the Botanic Gardens on a Monday, which I do not recommend because the orchid section and one other section is closed on a Monday.
But yeah, it has the bonsai garden, the eco garden, then of course the Singapore Zoo.
Okay.
We love the Singapore Zoo.
My sister has a thing for zoos, and then she got us very excited about zoos. We did a massive zoo day where we did the main Singapore Zoo and the night safari on the same day. There's a window of time that we have to wait.
And at that time, the river safari was still under construction.
Yeah. So that first trip, we did Singapore Zoo and night safari.
And then we walked the night safari rather than ride the trams.
We did both.
So we
did all the hiking paths and the tram.
So we kind of freaked out seeing the tigers staring at us.
Yes.
And there's like, no bars, they can see us. But then we realized there's those bits.
Yeah, because even the hyenas at night.
The hyenas were like
spooky. And then there's no fences at the zoo. It's just slopes and a bit of a canal. But that's it. And, I think we've all seen enough animal adventures to know that they could totally jump over the fence if they wanted to. So it was freaky. But I was kind of proud that we did everything. We did all the walking paths. Including the bat enclosure.
Yes, the enclosures where all the things would be flying around you. Yes. And we're like freaking out.
And then we took the tram because there are certain animals you only see on the tram. So there are certain animals you only see on the hiking path. So if you do both, that's how you maximize your trip. I know we finished close to midnight.
Yes.
That was a very tiring day. And then on a separate trip, we went to River Safari. River Safari is like the posh zoo. Because it's fully covered, and then the panda section is air conditioned, so it was very comforting.
But the river safari is also you'll just have to hope you see them.
Yes, the pandas are like
because
hit or miss,
and some of the animals just hide out. So as the boat drives by, you don't see anything.
I know we did that weird river tour, and I don't see all of them.
I see the foot.
Which is, to be fair, that's like all zoos. And then, but yeah, it's fun. And then we didn't do it together, but on separate trips, I went to the Jurong Bird Park, which just feels like it's far away. So, but I know they're trying to optimize that thing, but totally worth it. I mean, and you don't have to do what we did, where we did multiple zoos in one day. You can buy park hopper tickets for all the parks under one bundle price, and you have to go like in a certain period of time. So that's not so bad.
So they mentioned now that there's a Singapore Zoo breakfast with the orangutans.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
I'd want to do that.
Hey, and if you have kids, please check out My Animal Buddy at the main Singapore Zoo, where there's a kiddie section, and then you can quote unquote adopt a pet as your buddy. We highly recommend. Okay.
Orchard Road.
Next on the list is Orchard Road. Okay, I think we're not as keen about Orchard Road that
We
some people
only
think
got
we are.
excited about Orchard Road
Because we found geek stores
because
to
we
go
found
to.
Paradigm, and that was like
And there's a big Toys R Us at
Mm.
that other building.
Yeah.
And Books Kinokuniya.
Yeah.
So that's like about it. So they're like, admittedly, Toby and I don't necessarily walk up and down Orchard for stuff. We just go to particular stores. We avoid Lucky Plaza like the plague because it's just full of Filipino tourists. I mean, like, it always feels like such a waste that if you travel to Singapore and then you go to Lucky Plaza, why? It's like you want to go to Jollibee. It's so much better to go to Jollibee at home. Don't go to Jollibee in Singapore. Don't join the crowds of people there who have a legitimate reason to go
Hey,
to
David.
Jollibee. Yeah.
Singapore Flyer. We've never been.
Oh my god, we just see it on the highway whenever we're
Yeah,
coming
but we've
in.
never been.
But I've never. I mean,
And-
I'm not a big wheel what's this Ferris wheel fan.
Yeah, I don't also see the appeal of being on a slow moving wheel that will show me mostly the same view.
Things I saw from the highway.
Yeah. So no, not for us. Although it might be interesting because it allows you to see as far as Indonesia and Malaysia. So that's kind of.
Hey, if you go to Singapore Zoo, we could also see as far as Malaysia.
Or if you look out your window and the flight.
Yeah.
Okay, Raffles Hotel Singapore.
We didn't do this. We didn't do the heritage tour.
Yeah, I don't think we really ever visited this one.
And I don't know if it's a thing we would want to do.
Okay, next is Chinatown, which I think we only visited because of the Tintin store.
And the Transformers thing at China Square
Yes.
when they used to have the
Yes.
Chinese thing, and now they don't anymore. But yeah, I mean, like Chinatown is like very pretty and like lots of temples. We didn't visit the temples.
Yeah, we never visited the temple.
I have friends who do like temple tours, and like,
Mm.
okay, that's cool. I mean, it's not necessarily our thing, but I can see the value in that. So, yeah, we didn't really do anything else.
Centosa Island.
Okay, I've been there because the Pokemon Go event was there. But otherwise, I didn't really have a reason to be on Sentosa. And then I respect it as a beach. But, come on, guys. Coming from the Philippines, we have way more beaches and probably better beaches on average. Sentosa is pretty, but it's like a very constructed thing.
Was this also near where we drank with some of my friends?
I don't remember, but it is attached to Universal Studios.
Was this close to the parang bungee jump thing? Remember we had that drinking session near
No, that's Clark Key.
Okay,
That's Clark Key.
okay. I'm confusing things.
That's okay.
But
But yeah, we've never gone to the island itself.
and then have we ever gone to the Merlion? I don't recall. I think we just looked at it.
I went okay. You have to understand. There's the main Merlion at the like Marina Bay area. Okay, that's the one we saw.
Yeah, that's what
And then-
that's what we've stared at.
Sentosa used to have a very large Merlion in the middle of the Sentosa area, but
Okay.
that thing is gone. Recently, they've gotten rid of it.
Mm.
Mitch says luge in Centosa Island is good. Luge like the sport, or I don't know, or is that something else?
There you go. Yeah, that's like a bungee jumping attraction. Yeah. I remember we drank here, and I had to use my my dollar ATM card because
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like freaking out how to pay, and I totally forgot to inform them about my credit card.
Yeah.
Okay,
But okay. The nice thing about Clark Key, I mean, like, okay, we're not super big drinkers in Singapore, but it was a good place to go with friends. But that's also where the Asian Civilization Museum was,
Mm.
and that's where we got to
Yes.
see the Terracotta Warriors on tour. And actually, and I still want to do it, is that we never really got to explore the main Asian Civilization, the regular exhibit
Yeah.
because that museum's quite big. So yeah. David also says they were able to catch the Mega Merlion in Sentosa before it disappeared.
Okay, Universal Studios Singapore. We've been here. We've only ridden one of the two Battlestar Galactica rides.
Yeah, we did Human.
Yeah,
We did Human. But then, I mean, I've gotten to go a few times also, mainly with the family.
We did
The Transformers ride.
and the Revenge of the Mummy. We enjoyed the Revenge of the Mummy.
Okay, yeah, but that's still terrified. I mean, like I'm very scareable. But I could take the Transformers ride, although
My
there's still.
arms have scars to prove it.
Ay, nako. You're going to bring it up again. But yes, there's still like times like and then like a lot of Sesame Street stuff. Oh, I've been wanting to go with my nephew because he was a I don't know if he's past his Elmo period, but then he was super happy with like seeing Elmo.
Yeah, and then the Shrek show was fun.
The Shrek show was cute, and then but it's going to have a Super Mario World apparently, so that's something to look forward to.
So Night Safari, we mentioned this already. Merlion Park.
See, that's the one we've seen.
Yeah.
And then you have a picture of trying to drink the water coming out of the Merlion's mouth.
Asian Civilizations Museum, we've mentioned this.
That is a good museum.
Granite Island.
Oh wow, I have no idea what this. Pulau
Ubin.
Oh, don't know that one. Okay.
Fort Canning Park. Canning?
Canning.
I don't think we've ever been here either.
Yeah, my sister wants to take the hiking trails in the area with me, but we haven't done that.
There's the Maritime
Experiential Museum. We have not been there.
Yeah, this sounds like something.
We have not been to the Science Centrum, which is like the Mind Museum of Singapore.
Yeah, this does sound like something we'd love to check out. Fort Siloso?
No, we haven't done
military
these things.
Okay, so those were the standard ones. Now let's go to the unusual ones.
Why is the unusual ones include Gardens by the Bay?
Okay, I want to go here.
What is that? How Par Villa, Buddhist theme park. What? Really? That's
read it aloud. Read it aloud.
A Buddhist theme park that brings you a Buddhist version of hell.
So it has all these different statues showing the different ways that people suffer, like they're cold or they're being plucked of their nails.
Yeah, I understand. Tobio, you want to go here.
See, and I've been wanting. Look at that.
Okay, next trip.
I wish we
have to map it out for a trip.
Yeah. Oh no, it's one click per area.
Ironically, you're on Atlas Obscura. That's why.
Yeah, there's we've seen that. There's the wetland reserve.
Not so great. Okay. Changi Airport slides. Okay, I despite so I used to go to Singapore a lot more frequently because of work. So that's work combined with family. But I still haven't explored Jewel. Despite my many trips. I have never really invested time in going into Jewel. Because I guess because I've been going for years, I'm so over. When I arrive, I just want to get straight to my sister's place. And normally I arrive in the morning on a work day, so I have to go to the office. So then I'm very functional. And then on my way out, it's normally very late, and I don't want to think about navigating between getting from the Jewel terminal to my terminal and like that. Okay.
So of course listed here is the world's first salmon ATM.
What?
Okay. There's the German girl shrine for an unnamed German girl who has become a local deity. Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Okay.
There's the Katong Antique House.
Singapore Antique Museum preserves the fading remnants of a uniquely mixed culture.
There's the Bronze Bathers.
What is that?
It's life-size statues.
People of the river. We've never done the Museum of Toys.
Yeah, this one,
funny.
the Mint Museum of Toys. I've been wondering.
But it's like hokey toys, you know. It's like old stuff, which is not bad. It's just it's not like Transformers. So, southernmost point of continental Asia. Oh, okay. That looks like
it's
stupid.
a rope. It's a single file rope bridge. I don't know if we can take that.
I just want to be there and take a picture and then go home. It's like, which I feel like is a lot of our stuff.
There's LaSalle Campus Green.
Oh wow! Let's go to Singapore to see a LaSalle thing.
There's the Singapore's oldest Hindu temple.
No, I think we see that in Chinatown.
We walk by it.
We walk by it. It's near the stop, the road with the stop and the Tintin stop.
Have we ever been to Books actually?
No, because I just go Books Kinokuni.
And then there's the Fountain of Wealth.
Once heralded as the largest in the world. Wow, there are so many things. I have never really looked these up.
The soy sauce bottles of Sultan Mosque.
And there's a Berlin Wall fragment. Oh, interesting. Carlo is here. Carlo, this is your topic. Okay.
Okay.
Because like realistically, what are our like things to do whenever we're in Singapore? In all honesty, we will consider going to a zoo again. We will maybe consider Universal if like there's people who want to do that. We will definitely go to Books Kinokuniya. We'll definitely go to Paradigm Infinitum.
We'll check
So,
if
Games
there
FBI.
we'll check if there are any ongoing concerts or shows or performances that we might be
Yes.
able to catch.
Which would merit a trip to Marina Bay Sands. And then if on a day that we're going to Marina Bay Sands, we'll double check if there's any traveling exhibitions worth checking out.
or,
I mean, to be
or
fair,
robot dinosaurs.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, because of those exhibitions, like we got to see a Van Gogh in person.
Mm.
We got to see Dali's
Yeah,
paintings.
yeah,
That was I
nice.
love the Dali exhibit.
And even the Lego one. That was
Oh,
fun.
the art of the brick. That was
Yeah,
weird.
that
That was
was
fun
fun.
too. Small but fun.
Hmm.
And what are other? Oh, I it wasn't with you, but I got to see the Harry Potter experience. I mean, like
Yeah, that was a trip I wasn't with you.
I wasn't the biggest Potterhead, but then that was fun. We
Mhm.
actually invested in the audio support.
It's nice if we actually see opportunities to see anything like that. Stuff about the shows or movies.
And that's
we've
like,
seen.
and that's sort of what I always kind of hope for in the museums here. How come we don't see as many traveling exhibitions making stops here? The last ones we saw were at the Mind Museum, which was the the Da Vinci one,
like the experience thing.
which was cute, and then there was the dinosaur one, which
Yeah.
I enjoyed, even though it was like a very small traveling exhibit. It
Mhm.
was fun to see the dinosaurs. So
And then there was also the other, the Van Gogh one, the experiential.
oh yeah,
projected
when
on
it
the
was here,
walls,
yeah.
the-
Which okay, we got Van Gogh Alive,
yes,
which we got
saw,
to experience both in Singapore and here.
and the Singapore one was so much bigger.
Yeah,
So much more intense.
because the one in Singapore was done at the Art Science Museum.
And it was, you can literally get lost in the paintings.
Yes,
Because
because
there-
it was like huge projections, very limited people,
Multiple rooms.
multiple rooms, so you didn't crowd.
And it reached a point you weren't sure where the ceilings began.
Yeah,
Because it was that big. And here it was one place with a lot of shadows of people taking selfies.
Mm-mm.
So it was,
and like we all had to sit down on the carpet because it was a tiny room. I mean, like relatively tiny compared to the setup they used for the Art Science Museum. So I was rather disappointed with the way they executed Van Gogh Alive here.
but I understand that they had to do it that way.
Because it's the venue, it's like constrained by the venue.
And
So
they might have done better if they partnered with, what's that theater place near Pasong Tao Extension?
oh my god.
The one that the constellations and the like. But they have a theater like place that
Oh
they
wait,
could have.
okay. I think you're mixing them up because I think at first you were referring to the venue that Red Turnip used
Red
to
Turnip,
use for
yes.
their venues, but they moved to Circuit Makati,
Yes.
which is where we actually
Yes,
watch
the
constellations.
constellations, yes.
Okay.
But basically that's like
a
more,
large
more theater
multi-purpose
rooms, yeah, that
performance
they
hall.
could have used.
Carla does cite as a small city, a lot of stuff's always happening in Singapore. Yes, the country is like designed as a transit point.
And it celebrates its
multiple, multicultural
yeah.
nature.
even if just like any other country, there still are always the people who are a bit more racist than not. That never disappears. They do celebrate all these different influences.
And we've never gone to like the super cheap places to shop. There's like that, I forgot where it was. Is it Mumbara or something? But there's that place that would always say that, hey, you should, when you're buying souvenirs, you should go there. And we
Yeah.
never bothered because I think we don't really buy souvenirs for people.
True.
Or buying pasalubong, sorry.
Yeah.
We were specific.
Although there was that one time we did go because that was where Bunker something was.
Bunker Bay,
Yeah, but remember it was that building like Green Hills.
No,
Green-
but different pa.
there's a different one. Pa.
Yeah, we've never gone there. It's the 24-hour thing.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called now.
RJ asks favorite local food in Singapore.
Okay. So before keto, I mean, I'm a sucker for classic chicken rice.
Mm.
I definitely appreciate a good Hainanese chicken.
Mhm.
I originally preferred it steamed and not roasted. And then since keto, where I can no longer have the rice and chicken rice, I'm just having Hainanese chicken. Then I prefer roasted to steam because it has more flavor.
Mhm.
But there are some places where my sister's able to help me order from where we can get this huge tray of Hainanese chicken. Then I just ignore the rice because it's served separately.
Mhm.
And then I can wrap the chicken in lettuce and they'll have generous, we order a takeout in Food Panda. And then generous amounts of the ginger. Mwah, Still keto.
Mhm.
Okay, which is not bad. Oh my God, Carla said you misses a good kaya toast.
Yeah.
That was a thing we used to do all the time. Where, oh my God, what's it called? Oh my God, what's the kaya toast? Oh no,
Yeah, I can't copy Kian.
no, that's like all. That's all eateries.
Yeah, but that's where I'm trying to remember. I'm hoping it'll trigger the name. Ah,
Yakun,
yes, Yakun, Yakun.
Yakun.
And I
Okay.
remember I always get weirded out thinking that's still socks they're using.
Yeah, and then we, you do the full experience where you have your runny egg, you put soy sauce, you put a little white pepper, mix that, and then smear that over your kaya toast, and yay! Totally not keto. I mean, like the bread, the kaya, how sweet that coffee is,
Mhm.
but that works.
We had our share of crabs in the
Yeah.
first few times, but we got tired of how much effort it takes to eat them.
I mean, like I respect chili crab. It's good stuff. But then, like, if it's not my favorite thing to eat. And then it is only in more recent trips since I shifted to keto that I discovered the joy of bakote. Bakote is a pork rib soup. It's a clear soup mainly. It's sort of like nilaga but more peppery and stronger seasoning. Um, and then the really nice ones are served with like pork innards and intestines and
Sweet-
liver,
Sweet meats,
sweet breads,
sweet breads.
and mushrooms, and oh my God, tofu skin. How come we cannot get decent tofu skin here? So that great stuff. And then I can have it without rice. So then I'm so keto.
Mhm.
We have found a bakote place nearby now, which is Raw Hua Bakote. It's pretty good. It's not the same. It's not like the one I get in Singapore.
But
in
then
the
we
area.
also used to splurge on tea.
Oh, or like, no, we used to do 7-Eleven adventures. Like, we would look for whatever drink is buy one, take one for $1.
There was that barley tea.
Oh
that
my
we
God,
really
I
liked.
used to get the lemon barley all the time. And that's all just sugar now.
And then didn't we like um, at Marina Bay Sands have tea? And
Oh,
we'd try their sandwiches or their,
the TWG.
yeah, yeah.
We would do the TWG tea service.
And you know,
And it just felt totally ridiculous. It's like we could never remember what tea we had last time. And then it's always like, this sounds interesting.
that
And
was
then
nice.
and we did it once here at the TWG
Yes.
at BGC.
Yes.
But same thing, we're like, I don't remember what tea we
And
wanted.
like,
Flowers.
hmm.
and then the macaroons, which are like great, but I don't know if they were worth the price grade.
Yeah.
But it was just stuff to do on their semi Venetian canals inside the Marina Bay shops.
Yeah, I'll admit my adventures tend to be what new or more local approach thing I can order from McDonald's.
Oh my God.
Because they do have
McDonald's custom
interesting,
menu.
they do have interesting menu items.
Yeah, my sister used to laugh at us every time that one of the first things we would eat in Singapore is probably going to be McDonald's.
Or was it Subway? No, their version. It was Subway. Normally in the airport.
actually, more often than not, we probably bumped the Quiznos.
Quiznos, there you go. Not Subway. Quiznos.
Because Quiznos was at Terminal 1.
Yes.
And we would normally be Terminal 1 because of Jetstar.
Yes. And it's our way to sometimes break down the bills to smaller change.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. We got a lot of people hungry. Mino is asking, are you considering Orient Express? I'm sorry, what do you mean? Like the game? Is it that? Oh, Orient Express Singapore.
It's a pop art attraction.
Oh wow. It's a temporary thing. Orient Express opened December until June of this
Oh, that
year
looks
at the West Lawn
nice.
of the Gardens by the Bay.
That would have been so cool.
Oh, it's a train and it's like period stuff. Themed to the many movies that have been on the Orient Express. Oh my God.
This would have been nice to do.
Oh my God. This is totally something we would do. Wow. $78 for high tea.
Brunch is 250.
Lunch is 188.
And then festive dining is 300. I presume festive dining means costumes will be included. I don't know.
No, I think it's meals on holidays. Hence, it's Christmas. This is
There
an
you
old
go.
article. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God,
Should have been fun.
that would have been fun. Well, Mina, I can't consider anything really. So
Because we're not traveling anytime soon.
yeah, we're not traveling anytime soon. So it would have been nice if we had the opportunity to travel. I mean, like I don't even. Oh my God, our passports have expired, guys. We are in between passports, and I am not motivated to renew it yet. Although I feel like we should get it done this year, which is the expiration year.
Yeah, we
But
should.
they're just like, no. Technically, it expired last year
Yeah.
in October. So, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, this Orient Express thing is beautiful. I
Would have
would
been
totally
nice.
do it. Would totally do it. Okay. Okay. um.
What else?
Yeah. Plus, like, of course, minus like vaccine muna. First, the Philippines has to get off the travel ban list in Singapore, and Singapore has to open up the non-essential travel. They're only taking workers and limited business, and of course, like their version of balikbayan. So there is no option really, despite the many flights to Singapore.
Mhm.
I think it's a lot of business travel that's re-enabled, but that's about it. We weighed it, and like my sister's always like, "Do you wanna come over?" But then most likely, I can go, and they'll have to quarantine for 40 days. And that is probably not gonna be fun. Like I don't know. I don't want to spend my 2 weeks not being able to do anything, and then go out, and then be sadder when I come home and get quarantined here. Ooh, ooh. And now we're quarantining everyone, right? Regardless of country. We're quarantining first and then testing upon
Well-
14 days or something. That's the new ruling.
Well,
Like,
about time.
that's true though. That's true. It shouldn't be new in
A year
2021.
later.
Okay. Yeah. So
Hey,
what
Kenny.
else? What else?
Okay, so things to think about if and when you finally get a chance to go to Singapore again. One, um, commuting and traveling around is actually not as painful as it might be for other countries.
Oh my God, it's super easy.
The buses, the trains, the cabs are all actually well maintained. It's not often that you'll have a bad cab.
Yeah, even before the Uber days, like
Mhm.
it was super convenient to get around just by following the instructions on
Mhm.
go there.sg. But nowadays, you don't even need go there.sg. Google Maps gives you updated fare information when traveling around. So I've done that to figure out what train/bus routes to take when I need to meet up with people at certain places. Of course, like if I'm gonna go out at night, like, oh wow, I'm actually going to go to the sad gay places, then I'll take a cab. But otherwise, yeah, the bus and train schedules are pretty consistent, so
Mhm.
that's great. Um, and then totally get a tourist sim
Yes.
at the very least for data. It's super worth it because the amount of data they provide for a tourist sim, especially for like if we're just going to be in Singapore for a week or less, way more than you would ever need. The minimum would ever need. Mitch, of course, tips on color of taxi. Mahal ang silver and black. That is true, especially at the airport. And especially when you're queued for a taxi
Mhm.
and they're just going to send you to whichever cab comes first, you are technically allowed to like wait it out and say, I don't want to take a silver one. But it's always going to be expensive coming from the airport, so just do it. But
Yeah.
then otherwise, when you're not taking a cab from, like when you're in Orchard and stuff, then totally be choosy. Try to get a comfort cab, which are the blue ones. They're the easiest ones to go with. Blues, reds are safe. The silvers and blacks are the expensive ones because they're the more limousine ones. Kuno.
Bring your own tissue.
Bring your own tissue everywhere.
It helps to like have it in your bag or in your back pocket, but just make sure you bring your own. And even better, bring an extra pack if you're the type of person who normally uses them.
Yeah, if you can buy like a large pack of a bunch of travel size ones, then like stick it into every piece of luggage you have, then it'll be super convenient. Because admittedly, some of the best food in Singapore is definitely going to be at a hawker center.
And
But
it
a hawker
allows,
center means no tissue.
yeah, and it allows you to reserve tables.
So I want to pull it out. Where is the game? I can't remember. I will take one quick look, but I know it's nearby.
It's down there.
There.
Yeah. What else? Map out your schedules, map out your routes. Singapore is efficient enough that you can actually map out down to the minutes in terms of your travel.
So there's a game called Choke. It is not Chope, it's Choke. And it's funny because the cards are literally where are those? Where are the player cards? Oh no, they're mixed in.
Yeah, they're mixed in.
They shouldn't be the tissue.
The table and
There. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, bring them all out. Sorry, but they should be separated. But the like part of the mechanic is like, see this thing is not a playing card. You know, picture of a playing card. It's a picture of a tissue pack. It's a picture of travel tissue
to
reserve your space at a hawker center or a kopitiam if you want to go with that term. But yeah, it's such a cultural thing. So it's a Singapore game, obviously.
If you want to fulfill your Singapore trip needs or goals, then consider the sugarcane drink, the have a meal at the hawker stand at least once. Try chili crabs, of course. What else would be on don't miss? The Singapore sling. If you want to make
If you're
sure,
gonna drink, yeah.
yeah, you want to experience that. What else?
But again, we're not super great touristy people.
Mhm.
But like, okay, Universal is fun. Universal is a theme park that you can do in a day. It's not a very big park, I will admit. And even if you try to watch, I mean, to be smart about
Satay.
Singapore is that you have to map out smart about Universal Studios or USS, as some people say, is to plot out the shows that you want to watch.
Mhm.
Things like if there are stage shows you want to catch, go to those first, and then figure out the schedules around it. The main ones you're probably gonna watch is the Waterworld Stunt Spectacular and the Sesame Street one.
Mhm.
Otherwise, everything else is like just queue. I don't think it's a park that you absolutely have to get like the express ticket system. It's but go on a weekday. Don't go to Universal Studios on a weekend.
Yes.
That's crazy. Then you'll need the queue.
Don't rush when you use the restrooms because there are different stalls and you might be surprised if you're not accustomed to some of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, like especially when you're visiting places like Chinatown, beware of squat toilets.
Yeah.
Even the airport has some squat toilets, and it just reminds you that they're much more accepting of different cultures than
Yeah.
we are,
And
they have designed things.
if you rush in and then realize it's not a toilet you can use, then I'm sorry, when you step out you might have to line up again with everyone else who's waiting in line. So don't rush and make sure you're
Pay
lined
attention.
up at the right spot.
Yeah. And then I mean, and I will strongly recommend that you see at least one of the zoos. If you can only go to one zoo,
Mhm.
then the probably most thrilling one will definitely be the night safari. But if you think you're not a zoo person, river safari.
Yeah.
Because
more
it's
convenient.
more convenient, covered, not as hot under the sun. But the classic Singapore Zoo experience is still a great one because that's where you get the elephant shows, the butterfly enclosure, lots of great stuff.
Carla mentions there was an attraction somewhere where you pay to ride in a sports car for 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I only know of the one with the air tunnel where
Mm,
you could do
that's another Centosa thing.
the air flipping thing.
Yeah.
Magically. Yeah, I was hoping to try that.
And then he highlights the Steven Spielberg attraction at Universal. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. The lights, camera, action one. That's quite nice.
What else?
Look for Singapore board games. they have their own game market that's developing. We own this, the Singapore Dream, and Off Track, which is an MRT theme game. Their train system.
As travelers, pay attention to how much you're spending and where, because there is the GST.
Oh, your GST tax rebate. Um, okay, this requires a mini segment. So you earn GST for purchases of a single receipt that exceed $100.
Mhm.
And in addition to meeting the spending threshold, you must ask the store for your GST receipt
Because
at the
that
time of purchase.
because that will include usually showing them your passport
Yes.
in order for them to do the whatever inputs necessary to give you the paperwork that you can later present at the airport, if not scan with the self service machines.
Oh, it's gotten even more efficient since the last time you've been able to travel. So you totally need the ticket definitely from the store, and you must get it on the same day of purchase. If you do it the day after, it looks fishy in the system. And then the self service, you practically just scan that
With the phone.
and yeah, it's like super convenient na, but it's the but you have to go through those steps.
But the basic idea is if you're buying anything,
bring your passport.
and stop and think, how much is it? If you're at 80, maybe you should add a little bit more so it hits 100.
Then
and
get your 7% GST
yes,
discount.
because that's still big.
Yeah, but then if you're at $50, okay, maybe you don't need to spend
Mhm.
twice as much just to get to the GST discount.
But if you're only at 50 because you're thinking, if I buy the others ang mahal, buy it now with the discount, it's still worth it.
Oh, but double check that the store that you are purchasing
Does
from
give it.
does actually give the rebate.
Yes.
Because sometimes if the store is small enough, then their total receipts for the year
Do
do
not-
not make them a GST compatible business, so they have nothing to rebate.
Mhm.
Things we have discovered about games at PI. They are not the GST.
So you
store.
have to ask, you have to make sure you inquire if there will be GST.
Yeah, there's a GST tourist refund.
And don't feel bad about asking.
They
It's,
know. They totally understand. But yeah, so admittedly my only real regular GST refund source is Books
the
Kinokuniya.
books are.
It's always books. Okay. Where's Mitch mentions her Garrett popcorn. I'm not that crazy over it. It was like okay, but then like I didn't really see it's like the caramel
Yeah,
popcorn thing. I didn't like feel like it was that special.
Yeah.
Like I'm perfectly happy with like kettle corn here.
Mm.
But
or
that's
or
me.
Obar popcorn.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter. I can't have popcorn anymore.
Anything else? Are we missing anything?
We're not very good tourists.
Wear good shoes.
Oh, because we walk.
Walking is so nice to do in Singapore. Even if you don't plan to walk, if let's say you have 15 minutes and then you can walk around a bit, it's still worth it. It's nice to
And
see what
especially if
shops are
you're
out there.
taking legitimate public transport and not just cabbing everywhere,
Mhm.
you are bound to walk from the train stations and such. And I mean, things are laid out that the stops are convenient and laid out all over the island, but you still need to walk.
And keep your what's it called? I was about to say octopus. Octopus is Hong Kong, right?
Oh yeah, no, that you're now it's like a Nets card.
Yeah, but keep your card somewhere within easy reach or somewhere near your wallet so you can easily
Scan it at the train.
scan it at the train or at
Yeah,
the entrance
yeah.
of buses.
My Nets card is Sesame Street themed.
Hey, Karen.
Mine is like, do you like the Singapore sling? I mean, it was okay.
Okay, not our thing.
Yeah, it's like, especially now that I'm on Tito, it's
I
not
think we
really a
tried it
choice.
once, and
Because
like,
we were drinking with friends at Clark
and then it was like, oh, okay, so that's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have a beer. Yeah.
Mitch like, check the weather. Often than not, it rains. Mahalang pa yun sa Universal Studio. That's a funny statement. Because we didn't experience, I mean, when it does rain in Singapore,
We just let it rain.
and it tends to rain very briefly,
Hmm.
we have yet to like really have serious rain problems while in our travels together.
Yeah.
Now, on some of my work solo trips, I have been stuck in like rainy weeks at Singapore. But same thing, it's like it's not that bad and you can still get around. So
I'm happy I haven't encountered the haze.
Oh, oh, I've been through a haze
and
period.
that's something to be aware of if you do travel to Singapore.
Yeah, it's like seasonal weather for them. Blame Indonesia's annual forest
Burning,
burning
yeah.
efforts.
So be aware of that. That can happen, and it can be bad enough that people are not allowed to step out, right?
Mm.
So
Or
that might affect your trip.
well, before it'd
personally.
be like needing an N95 mask, which is why like come COVID, like hey, everyone in Singapore already has an N95 mask. They were just super used to
Oh
it.
my gosh, minus goal FGTC goes to Singapore.
I would love that. I would love that. And then, but I don't know what we would really do, because I don't know. I don't
We
know.
would have occasional meetups to eat or shop, and then everyone else does their thing because everyone has so many things they want to do.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
true. I think we're all gonna want to do different things. Um, I would love to go to Universal again. Well, I guess I'm definitely gonna wait for
Mhm.
the Super Mario Land to open up in Universal Singapore. So that's going to be awesome, and it's going to feel a lot more accessible than Japan. I'm sure the Japan version is going to be bigger and more extravagant, but I'm happy if it's just Singapore.
Mhm.
Oh, and then for like the curious, which is like last year, but every 2 years, Singapore has the Singapore Air Show. My company supports this for their social media stuff on and off over the past few years. Um, but it's objectively speaking, it's a fun event. I mean,
Mhm.
I've come to appreciate air shows because of that. And um, last year was not the best example of it because COVID was starting to happen and exhibitors pulled out.
Mhm.
But hopefully, in a post COVID-19 world, I would still recommend Singapore Air Show. The public days are only 2 days, but super, super awesome. And then I could do a whole segment on it only because I'm so used to the social of
I
managing
think
Singapore Air
I
Show.
think if FGTC does go to Singapore, Karen and I will visit the Buddhist Hell
I
Museum.
wouldn't mind going with you. I'm going to want photos of that.
Because it
Like,
sounds so cool. What is its name again? There. How Villa? Is that how you say that?
Buddhist hell. And admittedly, the one thing that we've been meaning to do is that we would plan a trip to Singapore and then drive down to Malaysia for Legoland.
Yes, we were hoping to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't necessarily feel the need to go to Malaysia
We know
on its own.
we know we're not the target market, but we're going anyway.
Yeah, but I still want to go to Legoland. There's a bus, well, normally in non-COVID period, but there's a bus from within Singapore, and then it'll just stop at the border. Make sure you have your passport, and then you'll go to Legoland.
If you do ever travel post COVID, also consider timing it for the Singapore convention.
The Great Singapore Sale. Well, okay, for us, it was the Singapore Comic and Collectibles SGCC whatever. It's like their Comic Con.
Yeah.
In September. But then for most, you would want to schedule around the Great Singapore Sale (GSS), which is normally around the summer months of the Philippines. But we have never really done anything GSSE.
Well, we are not the shopping people.
Yeah, we're really not the shopping people. My mom is the shopping.
But in terms of the comic convention, Singapore has been a big enough event that they do get big names showing up.
They get good guests. That's where Toby super fanboyed over David Mack.
And then even that day, there were other guests, right? They were having a panel, but we were just waiting for David Mack to return.
And there was like one of the I think it was Humberto Ramos or someone, the Spider-Man artist, and I didn't get a signature.
So it was one of those. It's that type of a convention. Yeah, you really get big names show up, and despite that, it wasn't super crowded. We were still, feeling nice and casual about it, which was nice. So yeah,
I'm double checking. Like, what was that place? I'm trying to remember. Boogies.
Yeah, for the budget shopping.
Yeah, and Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa. That's like the super cheap places. We've never gone, but I mean that may be a thing that people want to do. Karen's like, I love there's so many live events and cons. Oh my god, there are. And then like my sister, like one of her earliest stories was like, oh, she got to see Jason Mraz and he was just performing live at the Esplanade for free. It was just a community, and it just sounded like a community gig thing. But yeah, they do have a lot of regular concerts and stuff. And then and a lot of good theater. Before Soler opened up here, the theater at Soler opened up.
We
We would
fly
travel to Singapore to watch plays.
because it was worth it. It was
Yeah.
worth the trip, and the ticket prices for shows here and shows there and traveling to go there were still seemingly worth the trip to go there because the difference was not that big.
Yeah. So, but then when Soler opened up, despite the discomfort of the seats, then we started watching
Yeah.
the plays here na lang. And because was this the it's the same touring company. It's the same Australia-based touring company, Lunchbox Theatricals, that brings the shows to Marina Bay Sands and brings the shows to the theater at Soler. So you're really mostly getting the same experience, except in terms of quality of theater. Karen's like, I love Bugas Junction. Yeah, that's true.
Paul Parvelia was like the first stop on the MRT on the Circle Line. We could have gone. Anyway, since Karen mentioned something else,
Bugas Junction.
the Haji Lane.
Haji Lane.
I'm not familiar with Haji Lane.
It's touristy. Indie neighborhood
Fashion boutique.
something.
Okay. And then I know there's another place.
We have never been to
I
Haji Lane.
can't remember the name, but there's another place in Singapore that's known for art supplies.
We keep talking about this.
I can't remember the name, but there was that place that there are some people who are like, if you want to look for ganyan ganyan, go here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're not the best guides because again, then the last few. I mean, as time went on, once we had checked off our quote unquote tourist boxes, then they just became functional trips. Especially for me, then it really became work trips or like visiting the province, quote unquote, because my sister there. So it's like I get on this 3-hour flight and then I go see my sister and then we hang out and I stay at her place. So yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be like now because now she has a kid that takes up the extra room.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be tricky. You might have to hotel.
I don't think she'd let me stay in a hotel. She'd be like, "Why? Don't you want to stay with me?" Even if it means if I stay on the floor somewhere, she's gonna stick me on a.
And then you'll wake up and the kid's on top of you
with the drums.
With the drums.
I wouldn't mind at all. I super miss that. Okay. Yeah. And then there's all these Karen. Yes, Books Kinokuniya. It is a Japanese brand.
And it's tricky because you'll have to go really high. Do I have to keep going?
Well, yeah. In terms of the structure, if you go to technically, the main branch is at the mall known as Ngee City. But more people know Ngee City as Takashimaya, which is the department store in Ngee City.
And that's the big sign outside that you normally see.
Yeah. And then, Books Kinokuniya is there. So there's also a Lego store in that same place on the floor above.
And then the entrance has you go to the basement first, which is like the food court area, and then you start going up those escalators, right?
Okay, depende. Because technically, the car drop off is actually on the second floor. That's the one where there's a high drop off and a low drop off.
Yeah.
The front of the building is on a different level from the back of the building.
But if you came from Orchard Road,
well, if you came in a cab, you're gonna drop you off at the back. Which is across from the DC Cafe.
But if you walk from
if you walk on Orchard Road, then you're gonna be in the front area,
which brings you out to the basement first when you go in.
Then you have to just keep going up for the escalators.
Because I remember it always goes down to that.
It goes. You're thinking about if you take the underground path. So if you're on street level, you don't go down. But if there are these underground paths between the malls, that weird underground highway, so that traffic stays hidden. Then you can jump from mall to mall from their basements. That's the one where you'll start into the department store food, the supermarket food court area, and then go up. But yeah, oh my God, Books Kinokuniya is the place to go. As much as I've moved away from physical books, I would still go there for art books and certain comics and stuff. And it's always I end up buying big books that are like things I don't see here. Fully booked is getting better at bringing them in. Like a recent inspection of their Studio Ghibli section is like, oh, maybe I don't have to buy this stuff in Singapore.
We used to buy them in Singapore because they never show up here.
Yeah. Now they're there and fully booked, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Man. I super miss Singapore. And it's like as much as I've the frequency that I had gone, I just miss it all the more now. And because I want to see my family and all that.
So the last thing I guess would be always be calm in the airport. The more nervous you appear, the more they will wonder why you're nervous.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Immigration's a little intimidating when you get down.
So
And then I've had random sometimes when you get off the plane, there's a security check for everyone because of other security requirements. Like I think there was one because there was an APEC meeting or something. And so disembarking from the plane, they sent us all for security checks. Like, what the hell? And Singapore airport pa naman is the security check where you have to bring out your laptop from your bag.
yes.
Yeah. Mitch is like, best area to stay in Singapore. I cannot really recommend. Okay, in the sense that it's expensive to stay directly on Orchard. And there are very few hotels on Orchard. So I guess to answer that question, it's really thinking about what is your itinerary? What do you want to do? You would want to stay at a location that is close, that is accessible to the MRT. There are great Airbnb options for sure. We have rented some for all company outings actually.
On one trip, we used the clubhouse in the Gulf area because we had membership. And my dad back then.
Okay. But yeah, so I don't think there's necessarily an absolute best place to stay. I think figure out where you're going and then go
Figure
with that.
out how far you are from the closest
MRT
stop, and that opens up possibilities immediately.
Yeah, if you want to go super travel, there are like these travel hostel type things where it's practically bed spacing. But when you think about it, especially on very touristy trips where you're barely going to be in your room anyway, these might be good, affordable options for you. And you get to meet fellow travelers. It's great for like if you're backpackers and stuff. If you expect to buy a lot of things, though, then you would still want your own room. Maybe get an Airbnb.
And then be careful with the illusion of since the train brings you anywhere, everything's near. But if you realize that it's still 10 minutes
It's
between
still-
stops
I
and
mean,
there's
like-
15 stops, that's 150 minutes.
Yeah, there's like oh, this trip is still 30 minutes on the train.
Yeah.
The trains are very fast and efficient, but oh my god.
But
Because to be fair, like my sister used to be in Sengkang, which is all the way at the end of the purple line. And then to get to like Orchard and stuff, it would be purple to green to red.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, so many
But there's that
steps.
first illusion of so they're connecting, so it's easy,
Yeah.
we can get there. But then you'll realize later on, wait, how much time is it already?
How
It's
many
9 o'clock
stops?
already,
Yeah.
and we're just about to arrive.
And when you look at godare.sg or Google Maps, it will give you accurate time estimates for your travel. So think about that. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Okay.
Karen wants to stay at the hotel Mina stayed at. Where did Mina stay? I'm curious. Mina, are you still here? Was it a Holiday Inn or I mean, like there are some nice hotels definitely that you can go to. It's just a question of what you're looking for. But yeah, I feel like especially the last, there are some great Airbnbs. So don't knock it. Don't knock it. I don't know what the Airbnb status is now, obviously, because of COVID and other complications. But yeah, we'll get there. Mine is still here. What hotel is Karen talking about? I'm curious now. Oh, the Conrad. Okay.
Well, if you have money to burn,
That's a bit fancy.
it is fancy.
Carlton, it did not get that much cheaper. This is in the same neighborhood, whether Conrad or Carlton.
Yun yung mga, black and silver, sige, let's ride it.
Okay, but I've been guilty of taking whatever cab I get at the airport.
Well, we do
because
that.
I just want to go
And
home.
we aren't really, at that point, we just want to go.
And yeah, you know what? A nickel and dime the cab.
We've
It's like,
also accepted the fact that when we commute abroad, it's going to always be expensive, no matter
especially if you cab. If you
how
cab
we turn it
everywhere.
around. So we might as well just accept it.
Singapore is best experienced on your feet, guys.
I had the same thing when I was in LA, and
That's
I had
true.
to Uber. I was like at first thinking, oh my god, $15 to get there, but then I thought, I'm here anyway. I might as well spend $15 to get there.
Yes.
So that's how it is when you travel.
Enjoy it.
There, minus says Google paid off the record, even if I said it aloud. But I guess that's it. Unless there's any last few words you want to share about Singapore.
Um, I mean, I'm biased. I love Singapore. A large part of the reason I love going to Singapore is that my family is there, and so I will always want to go see my sister, and it's very, very important to me, especially now that like I have a nephew and I love spending time with them. But to be fair, because I am not a very exotic traveler, Singapore checks all my boxes also in terms of convenient transportation, nice touristy options, and I mean like most touristy things I will do are the museums, Universal Studios, and the zoos. But admittedly, that's about it. But like, I'm not keen. I'm not overly keen on other things. And then like Gardens by the Bay always feels like, okay, let's do a tourist thing and let's go to Gardens by the Bay. It is literally a constructed thing for tourists, which is not bad. It's not bad in itself. And like we're less likely to spend time at any of the Merlions anymore. We'll just want good food and things like that. And oh my God, wait. We have to talk about Steamboat. Okay. There are many, many good, like, okay, as much as I love hawker centers, but you gotta have, Steamboat is really just hot pot, shabu shabu, whatever you want to call it. There are many, many great places. And like at Nian City, there's Coca. Coca's pretty good. Coca's pretty good. I'm trying to remember the other one we went to. Oh my God. Wait, where is that? No. No, I don't remember where it is. Okay, never mind. But yeah, there's depending on your preference, there's a lot of like good steamboat hot pot places, and that's something that I super got into. That I super got into. Um, I'm looking at the mall now. I'm trying to figure out what the restaurant was. Food restaurants. No, no. Man, that's where we used to. That's where we first ate Din Tai Fung, and we used to like Din Tai Fung all
because
the
Din Tai
time.
Fung was like the restaurant we were very happy to go to.
Yeah,
And then they opened here.
then they opened here.
So suddenly it wasn't as special as it was before. Because before it was literally, it's a chance to Din Tai Fung because we're in Singapore.
I can't remember what it was. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. I'm a terrible person.
Karen mentions Nando's.
I am not familiar with Nando's. What is that? Let's look that up. Nando's.
Peri peri chicken.
Okay.
And then there was that other place we had, Carnivore, I think.
Oh, the Brazilian thing at Marina Bay Sands. It's like one of the few places we eat at after the show. I don't know if it's still there.
It's probably not.
Not there anymore. We tried, and then we tried like the different Michelin star restaurants at Marina Bay Sands, and Nick was always like, okay, we did a thing.
Yeah.
Still had more fun at the hawker centers. But yeah, oh my God, Steamboat. I would Steamboat you to death. And I can't remember the one I really like. I'm gonna have to look for it. Okay. City Hot Pot, Crystal Jade. No way. Okay, maybe I can find. If I look at for hot pot in my Google Photos, will it show me something? It shows me my own soup. This one. Where is this?
First, Singapore.
That's what
Estimated location. There. Somewhere near Newton. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. The name should pop up. Gyukaku Center Point.
But it is the Center Point Mall. See, I was right.
The Steamboat Center Point.
No, like honestly, like what the hell is that? What's the name of that thing? Fortnite seats? No. Beauty in the Pot. Oh my God, there you go. Toby hasn't been able to try it, whether Coca or Beauty in the Pot. Beauty in the Pot. Okay, Beauty in the Pot, and that's where my obsession over collagen soup started. And then we had to look for, try to look for a collagen soup place here.
Mhm.
We found one that was more Japanese themed in Green Hills.
Which is super
It was,
expensive.
it was okay, but yeah, very expensive,
Super
and not
expensive.
as fun. And like, oh my God, Beauty in the Pot, guys. That's awesome balls. Beauty in the Pot. If not, Coca at Nyan City is pretty good too. So I used to be like, Coca is the bomb. And then Beauty in the Pot happened. And oh my God, Beauty in the Pot is the bomb. So,
And now we're hungry.
yes, and we're in our fasting window. Yay. Okay. Yeah, so that's like I love steamboat type experiences. And it's very different depending on the place you go. There are some like we went to some kind of slightly shadier, not shadier, but like more local places, where then it's like where you get the melted cheese and stuff, and more Korean in style. But they're great stuff, and they're all over the place, and you can just keep trying it. And then Ovi, my former office mate, her Instagram, it's like every weekend they'll find a way to order steamboat
Because it's
through delivery.
because it's the new shabu. Like there was a time everyone would go shabu at some point because that's the thing for eating out.
Well, plus they're super into it, and then because like, and most families have a steamboat grill at home. We have one because of my sister. She gave me one, and we've tried it a few times. But then like it's such fun, guys. Although I can't fully replicate the soups, but that's like I love that. And then technically, I can keto it by just buying ingredients that I can eat and avoiding stuff like corn, which is also fun. But yeah, I can't eat the corn or the noodles, but it's totally compatible. Okay, yeah. So this is now food ramble, as is true to the spirit of Singapore. Anything else, Toby?
No, I'm out.
Okay. Well,
I guess we close.
yes.
Thank you so much for watching. That's all the time we have, but we had a lot of fun, and we hope you'll join us again next time.
If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form at Baduy Pride Ideas. This was a suggestion by Carlo, so thank you, Carlo,
Hey,
for
Carla, thank
helping us
you.
celebrate good memories of many, 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 many Singapore trips, and we hope to be able to travel safely again soon. You can follow us on Twitter, Toby No Shade, RG Sumiko.
You can also check out our blog, baduypray.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
So feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below about, I guess, what are the favorite things you like eating in Singapore, or what do you think are going to be your musts on a Singapore trip? Because we already told you ours, so what are yours?
David also shares all roads in Singapore lead to food.
That is very true. That is very true, and a lot of 24-hour eating places.
Mhm.
Huh? Mitch is like, is that the pot we ate in your office? Yes, that's my steamboat grill for home shabu shabu, which we've never done here. It's
Yeah.
funny. We brought it home for when we shuttered the office, but we haven't done that here. And I think about it every now and then, like, ooh, should we hot pot? But it's like it's a lot of effort. Okay. Yeah. And well, be sure to subscribe for notification, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
Meant to be.
And this is
Baduy
Baduy
Pride.
Pride. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, probably no episode tomorrow. I think we're gaming.
Bye.